Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to do this quick video about Megyn Kelly. And I know it's super late, so people may not be watching right now, but I just want to share my thoughts about this real quick. So on her show, which is on NBC, she made some comments about Halloween and people wearing blackface during Halloween. She raised the question whether or not it was racist. She said back when she was a kid, it was okay to wear blackface if you were dressed up as a character. And then she cited the example of the Real Housewives of New York, like someone on that show apparently dressed up like Diana Ross and they wore makeup to make themselves look darker so that they could appear like an African American. And she said the people were saying that that was racist. And she was like, I don't get why people are saying that that's racist because it's not racist in her mind. So, of course, she was dragged on Twitter for making these comments. People were, trashing her, and rightfully so. So, I want to just share my thoughts about this briefly. And then I want to let you all know that I plan to do a couple of other real short hangouts tonight. There are some things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about some racist were put out a candidate for governor in Florida. Right now, I'm in Florida. You have this African American candidate by the name of Andrew Gillum, who won the Democratic nomination for governor. And now that there's some racist robocalls going out against him. So I plan to talk about that later on after this video. So we all know why this is racist. I mean, unless you just don't have any understanding of history, we know that for decades they had what were called minstrel shows where they depicted black people in a negative light, where they tried to make a joke out of black people. They tried to demean black people, dehumanize black people, and just make a mockery of black people. They would have white people dressed in blackface, and these white people would behave so ridiculously. They would behave like complete buffoons and idiots, making black people appear to be stupid, making black people appear to be subhuman, making black people appear to be grotesque. Like they would not only just paint their faces black, pitch black, they would have them, their eyes all bucked out. They would have some red lipstick on, like bright red, like making their lips look huge. And they would wear knotted wigs and things like that. And they would wear raggedy clothes and act like complete buffoons, like literally like clowns, to make black people look stupid, to make black people look uncivilized. And these types of images were used not just for the sake of entertaining or humiliating black people. This type of imagery was used to justify systems of oppression, used to justify, second class treatment for black people. So they would present all these negative stereotypes. They would present the stereotype of the happy coon, the stereotype of the Sambo, the person that tried to be intelligent but was really not suited for education, having people use big words and, out of context and improperly. So they would look like complete buffoons. And we all know about the original Birth of a Nation film where they used blackface. They had white actors in blackface pretending to be black people. And they also had a few ignorant black people as well playing in that movie, Birth of a Nation. And they depicted black people as savages. They depicted the black man as some sex crazed animal who lusted after white women. And they depicted black people as being incapable of governing themselves, as complete savages and stuff. So there's a history tied to blackface. It's not fun and games. It's never acceptable for a white person to wear blackface. Never acceptable. I don't care what they're trying to present. I don't care who they're trying to imitate. Because most of the time, when these people are wearing blackface, they are attacking our humanity. They are disrespecting black people. Every year around Halloween time, We see these offensive costumes that come out depicting black people. We've seen costumes where these white people are dressed up like Trayvon Martin. You know, I've seen pictures where they have like Skittles in their hand and iced tea in the other hand, and they would have a hoodie on with blood stains on it. You know, making mockery of the death of that young brother. And then you have other people who will pretend to be a Lil Wayne or somebody like that. You know, pretend to be modern day minstrels. That's what they would do, like have gold chains on and all that kind of stuff, making black people look foolish. And it's just a shame that unfortunately you have real life minstrels that these white people can imitate. They can imitate a Little Wayne and stuff like that. So, you know, it just is mind boggling that this woman, Megyn Kelly, would say this stuff, knowing the history of minstrel shows, knowing how they depicted black people as subhuman and, you know, just insulted black people and dehumanized black people. And this woman is actually asking whether or not it's acceptable. I mean, it's like this woman forgot that she was no longer on Fox News. She forgot that she was on NBC and not Fox. So I just had to express my views on this, man. And from what I understand, she has since apologized. I mean, it's like these people have no sensitivity at all to our issues, no concern about racism. And this is nothing new for her. She did this kind of stuff for years on Fox News. So before I close out, I just want to shout out a few people. Um, Shout out to Miss Mahogany. Shout out to Still Learning. Yeah, so so Still Learning said it shouldn't be mind-boggling. She's a racist. Yeah, that's true. You know, I got to give you credit for that. I mean, it's nothing new. Like anyone who followed her on Fox News understands that. Yeah, so I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. And again, I'm going to do a couple of other live streams tonight, real quick. I got to get some rest. I've been doing a lot of traveling and stuff. I just got off a plane and everything. I settled in my hotel, but yeah, look out for a couple of other short hangouts that I'm gonna do. It's just easier for me to do them as hangouts, so that way I'm not, you know, I don't have to wait around for it to upload and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I want to thank y'all for supporting the channel. Oh, somebody from Johannesburg, South Africa. Shout out to you. I'm glad to see people tuning in from all over, man. That's great. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about racist robocall that went out in Florida from this white supremacist group. So y'all look out for that. And there are kind of like connections to that story and this story because that story deals with menstrual images and you know, talking of imitation of black voices and all that kind of stuff, which is rooted in the minstrel show and stuff. So, you know, this Blackface is part of minstrel shows and stuff. And it's just crazy that this woman would actually think that it's acceptable to wear blackface. So, anyway, you know, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well so that you will know when I post content on here. So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings.